Well guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. I'm back home in Canada now. I left the UK a couple of weeks ago. So back to reality now, back to work, but back out on the streets, which is what I'm going to do today. Now, I had a great time back in the UK. I would love to have brought you more videos, but unfortunately, those of you who have seen my video from the UK, you'll have remembered that it rained for pretty much the first 2 weeks that I was there. But I had an amazing time. So I got a video together. I was happy with some of the images I got. Previous video I was saying that I'd upgraded to the Sony a7R IV. Really enjoying that camera, especially some of the features that I'm getting to try out and use within the camera itself. Being back in the UK did give us plenty of time to try some of those features out, especially the aspect ratios that you can choose within the camera itself. It really fine tunes those compositions and discards any distractions that I don't want to be looking at. Now, street photography, it's going to be pretty much the same. I shoot a lot of square and 4x5, so I'm still going to be able to use that aspect ratio within the camera. Now, I've still got the Sony a7R III. It's going to be a great backup camera. I can use it for video along with street photography as well, so it means I can pick and choose which camera I take on certain trips that I go on. But I've also got a new lens in my bag. I've got the Zeiss Batis 85mm 1.8. So that was the main reason for getting out today. I really want to get back out on the streets and try that lens and try that focal length. It'll be a great focal length to use. You remember in the past I've used a 14mm nice wide angle lens to capture the surrounding areas, you know, more of the city. So using this 85, it's going to be concentrating more on subjects themselves. So I'm not going to be worrying as much about the surrounding areas around the subjects. I just want to capture subjects standing in nice light, wearing nice hats, nice clothing, maybe sunglasses. That's what I'm going to be looking for. So you just got to change your thought process to whatever focal length you're going to be using on the day. I've just got the 85 with us. That means it limits us and it makes us use and get used to that focal length. So that's key. Don't take too many lenses. Try and concentrate on one lens, and I'm sure you'll get to grips with it pretty quick and know what you're looking for next time you go out. So I'm going to make our way down onto the street, see if we can capture some images, see if we can find some subjects to photograph. So here's to a good day. So I've came to the first area that I'm wanting to try for a couple of images. Now I did try for a couple on the way up the main street there. I always like to take test shots before the day starts, before I get into the nitty gritty of taking images. Now the location I'm at now is some nice big skyscrapers. You'll be able to see the skyscrapers above us. There's plenty of subjects to photograph. At the other side of it, just behind us there's a cafe with inside a store. It's raised up off the ground. So before you actually get to the cafe itself, there's some nice white glass there, and it really makes the subject stand out, the subject that's sitting at the window, because you've got that nice plain clean area and the subject themselves. Now there's some nice lighting within that cafe, so I think it'll make for a nice black and white. I am going to try different areas, so I'm going to try a direct shot, focusing directly on the side of that cafe itself. And then I'm going to go slightly up the stairs to get a different angle on it and come in from the side. So I'm going to get back, try for a couple of shots, and I hope you enjoy them. So I tried for the first couple of shots and I was really pleased with how they looked on the back camera. It was nice to get that subject. The first subject was a guy with a nice white shirt on, sitting exactly where I wanted him to sit, and he had plenty of character, so he looked really interesting. And then I made my way around to the left hand side, up on the stairway, went at it from a different angle and got that woman looking towards the camera, used the vertical lines to frame her, and I think it worked out really well. So I'm going to carry on and see what else we can come across here in downtown. So I've came a bit further into the centre of downtown here, and there's a demonstration on. You'll be able to see this huge square behind us. It's quite amazing with all the flags. There's a lot of colour there, there's a lot of interesting subjects. Subject's going to be the main point of interest, so having that lovely soft bokeh in the background that you get with the 85mm batties is really going to work out well. I'm also making use of the aspect ratio within the camera itself. I'm using the square crop, so it really helps us with that composition. So I'm going to get back and try for a couple of images. Well, I hope you enjoyed all those images from the demonstration. It was really great wandering around those crowds of people, just trying out that lens now, the A7R4 and the 85mm. What a combination it really is. You know, I've got that focal length that I'm really enjoying today. Really get a lovely bokeh with that Zeiss Batis. It really pops now because it's overcast today and pretty gloomy. Those colours really stand out, so that's something to always bear in mind. If it's a cloudy, overcast day, anything that you photograph with colour is going to really pop, it's going to really stand out. Using the aspect ratio in the A7R4, it really did help us out a lot to fine-tune those compositions. Now, if there's any of those images that you particularly like, let us know in the comments below. I love the woman with the black hat on that's raising the flag. It looks oldie worldy looking on the back of camera, and I think it'll make for a great black and white. As I was walking up the main street there, I came across this area where there was a lot of scaffolding, a lot of vertical lines, horizontals. But not only that, what grabbed my attention was there was a row of light bulbs leading across the scaffolding to light the way. Now I can imagine on a night time that'll really make for a good black and white image because of those light bulbs and subjects walking through that bit of a tunnel that the scaffolding creates. So what I want to do is I actually want to head back there later on to see if there is an image there. So if anything ever intrigues you as you're walking around, even if you're not taking shots, pinpoint areas to go back to at different times of day. So I'm going to get on, go down to the station, see if I can come across any images and enjoy the rest of the day. So you'll be able to see, I'm here in the train station. It's one of my favourite areas to photograph. You'll be able to see we get some nice light, some nice dark shadows there. And there's always great images to be had. Everyone's going about the daily business of catching the trains. You can just stand about and wander about, looking at subjects, finding interest in people, and just enjoy it and relax. So I've always wanted to capture an image towards the windows that you can see behind us. It's always intrigued us when you see people standing there having the coffee, having the lunch, and I've always thought it'll make for a great image. So because we've got that backlight coming in from outside, the subjects standing at the window almost become a silhouette and they really stand out. So you've got the lights and the darks there. I think it'll make for the great black and white. Now you've got the horizontal lines of the window frames. I'm going to have the outside slightly brighter, not blown out, but just enough to make it nice and bright. You'll be able to see the window frames, and along the side of the wall we've also got radiators, so they also include those vertical lines that I was on about. So it's just a waiting game now. I'm just going to walk around this area for a while with the camera, see what subjects come along and see if I can capture an image. Now I tried for an image in the station there and I was really pleased with what I managed to capture. The girl that I photographed at the window, she had so much character. She had the hat on, she had some cowboy boots on, and she was standing nice and straight against the radiator there, so you had the vertical lines of the windows as well. Now because it was brighter in the background, it really made her stand out. Now the added bonus was because I where I positioned myself, where there was a crossing in front of the window, I actually got a singular subject standing at that crossing who was facing in the same direction that she was. So there's a bit of a connection there and somewhere for the viewer's eye to fall onto instead of just the girl herself. I was really pleased how it looked. I think it'll make for the great black and white. That's what I've got in my head. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that one turns out. Now it is a bit later in the day, it's probably an hour till sunset, and I've got a couple of locations that I want to have a look at on the way back. So I've just been making my way slowly around the station where I was earlier on. It is starting to get dark now, but what I'm wanting to do is I'm actually wanting to envision an image for later on for when it gets dark. Now the main thing that grabbed my attention when I was walking past the station was the building opposite. It's now going to be artificial light that catches my eye for images as it gets dark. Now the building itself that you can see behind us, some lovely shapes and patterns, some nice vertical lines, and there's a nice corner of the street just in front of us there. So what I've envisioned when I was on the opposite side looking across with the 85mm, it'd just be nice to get one person standing at that crossing with all this structure of the building in the background. So what I'm going to do is when it gets a bit darker, I'm actually going to venture over to the other side of the street and grab an image from that side. Now that's the benefit of shooting at 85mm. I don't have to be really close to subjects. The fact that I can go to the other side of the street, the subject on the corner of the street where the crossing is, isn't even going to realise that I'm taking a photograph of them. As far as they'll be aware, I'll be taking a photograph of the building. So all I need to do now is wait a bit longer, wait for it to get dark, and see if I can get that image that I've got in my head that I want to take. It is going to be dark pretty soon, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for this image, and I'm actually going to go back to the location that I passed earlier on in the day. You'll remember I was on about the scaffolding poles with the light bulbs. I think there's an image up there, and I'd be interested to see what it looks like on a night time with them light bulbs lit up. So that's where I'm going to venture next. So I have decided to call it an end to today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been brilliant being back on the streets of downtown, and especially trying out that new focal length. And it was great, it really was. I've looked at the images on the back of camera. The subjects really pop out. Got that lovely bokeh that you get with the Zeiss Batis 85, and can't wait to get back and check those images out more. But it's getting later in the day. I'm going to go and grab that image, but don't go anywhere yet. I am going to be walking through the streets of downtown as I head back home, and hopefully we'll capture some images along the way. So you'll remember I said in my previous video that I had plans, I had ideas for 2023 for my photography going forward, and one of those ideas that I've been considering for some time now is actually starting to run my own workshops around street photography. So let us know in the comments below, let us hear your thoughts about doing that. It'd be great to share my knowledge of everything I've learnt over the years of doing it, and show you some great locations here in downtown Vancouver. So I am going to head back now, but thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, all the good stuff, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.